How can you simplify your work so that everyone can understand it, but at the same time without dumbing it down? I want to talk about this today because I found this topic super important and very interesting really to tackle, because I feel that we as STEM professionals have not really been trained in this discipline and this skill of how do I make sure that others understand the complex work that I do. And this reminds me of the typical question that I get asked many times, especially while I was actively working as a scientist. I would explain what I do more or less, and then people would say, yeah, but why do you do what you do? Like, what is it that you actually do, and why is this important? And of course, then I started getting into this world of communication and explaining my work in a better way, in a more fluent way, to make sure that people actually understand what I do, because I felt that my work was super impactful and important, as STEM work is generally is like important and impactful and so necessary. So I believe that we all got this question, like, what is it that you, like, I know that you do some nerdy stuff, but what is it that you actually do? And then what we do is either go, like, there are two extremes. You either go like super technical and explain every single detail, and the person is left like, okay, I don't care, I don't know, I like whatever. And the other extreme is to dumb it down, to make it super basic, which is good if you want someone to sort of get a sense of what you're doing, but it's not that good if you're, for example, applying for funding, applying for a promotion, pitching your project to some investors and so on, because those people have to see the impact of your work, and they have to see the complexity and the procedure that is happening behind closed doors and in the background, developing your specific project and your specific work. So how do we solve this problem? How do we actually make sure that people understand us, but without dumbing it down and without making it sound like something insignificant, that we're doing something so easy that it's so insignificant? So the first thing I would say here is that what actually work, I explained the two extremes that clearly don't work. What actually work is explaining your work in a way they can see the impact of it. What do I mean by this sentence? For example, I feel that, especially when I started working with clients, and now there have been quite a few of them with the same issue, and I realized we as STEM professionals are not trained to think in terms of impact. We are trained to think in terms of cause and consequence, what I like to call if-then mindset. Like, if you do this, then this happens. But the general public and people who are not trained in STEM disciplines are really not able to see the connection between cause and consequence, especially in something complex, that straightforward. They need some context, they need some time, they need some sort of background in order to be able to see that connection. And what they really know how to think in terms of, and they know how to handle, is impact. Like, it's very clear if you say something like, okay, I'm developing a cure for breast cancer. Like, people see it as something tangible. People see it as something very impactful in their own life, in their own environment, and they can relate much easier to that. So our entire strategy, and my entire strategy as a coach, is to teach people to start thinking in that way. Like, instead of thinking, okay, this causes this, like if I do this, then this happens, if we do this, we did this and then this happened, we did this and then this happened, you start talking about the impact. You start explaining the impact so that the people who are listening to you can instantly sort of get the sense of what is it that you're doing. And this is much different from dumbing it down, because you highlight the complexity and the importance of it, but at the same time you also highlight why this work is important to them and how it can impact them. And I believe that if you manage to explain your work in these terms to investors, to stakeholders, to peers, to colleagues, to supervisors, you are actually going to get the recognition you deserve, because you have to make it impossible to see the importance. Like you have to, impossible not to see the importance. Like it has to be so obvious to them why your work is necessary, important, and at the end of the day, brilliant, as I believe STEM minds are capable of producing brilliant stuff. And my job here is to really help them to express their great work and their ideas in a way the broad public can understand, so they can get the recognition they deserve for their effort. So if this resonated with you, I want to invite you to join my coaching program where I teach you how to do exactly that. So we have several training sessions in which we work exactly on that. It's a very hands-on practice in which you bring your specific problem, your specific challenges, and we sort of work around that and provide solutions that are made for you and for your specific issues and challenges that you're facing right now in your STEM career. I will leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we can discuss those specific topics like your career, what are your challenges, your struggles, and of course see if we are a good fit to work together. So I hope this video will be useful for you, that you will start thinking in terms of impact instead of this if-then mindset, and that you will apply it in designing your next presentation and preparing your next meeting, pitch, proposal, funding, or whatever it is that you are doing right now. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon in another video. Bye bye.